Thank you.
This was her nervous, y'all. Can you imagine if she was relaxed?
Right.
What? What up? What up? What up? What up, family? I'm back again with another friend, with another family member. Another family member in the LAB. I got someone with me I haven't seen in a couple of years. I got Miss Iesha in the house. What's going on?
Hi, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. This is the Rutgers reunion tour. Before I
Yes.
had I had somebody else from Rutgers.
My journey was very different than a lot of traditional students. And by traditional, I mean like students that go from undergrad directly to medical school. So like
Now we got the social worker from Rutgers. What up? What up?
How you doing?
Man, I'm good. How you doing? I should be asking you. You know what I'm saying? You man, since graduation, you've been doing your thing.
Yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. I feel like I'm in a twilight zone sometimes, trying
That's
to
the
like what?
it's all good though, because it's all good things that you've been doing. Um, and I do want to always give you that shout out. When we graduated, everybody didn't have that J to the O to the B, and you put in a good word for me over at Project 99. Shout out Zach and the whole staff over there. I appreciate that immensely. So thank you. But I just want to check in with you, my hardworking Guyanese friend. How was 2020 for you?
Oh, 2020. Okay. 2020 was it was okay. It was okay. My 2020 was a little eventful. Besides me, yeah, somewhat besides me dealing with the pandemic like everybody else I was pregnant at the same time. So my
Man.
2020, yeah, was, being in quarantine. I couldn't have no baby shower the way I wanted it. My baby shower looked like Zoom. But yeah, the highlight of my 2020 was when my son was born. So
All right.
that was a blessing.
Congratulations.
Thank
Congratulations. And um what I know you have a daughter as well. What's the children's names?
All right, so my daughter, she is 3, and her name is Menon, and
Okay.
it's from Empress Menon. She was the wife of Haile Selassie, the Emperor of Ethiopia. So that's where her name comes from. And then my son, he's 7 months, and his name is Menelik. And Menelik, his name is also in the Bible,
Okay.
as well as it translates to son of a wise man.
Okay. Son of a wise man.
Mhm.
And before we go into 2021, because things got even bigger and better, you know what I'm saying? I got a little lead in right there, but bigger and better. But so why might you pick a name that has anything to do with Haile Selassie? Could you feel the folks in, the family in? Why would you do that?
Well, as you alluded to before, I am Guyanese. So shout out to all my Guyanese people, all my Caribbean people.
I don't got no
And
flag over here, but you know how y'all
wait,
do.
wait, wait
You
your
know how y'all
veteran
do.
flag. And then, my children's father is Jamaican. So there's heavily based Caribbean in our household. And then you want to throw in
Tell me about 2021. Is anything, I don't know. I mean, it's a new year. Anything new happen for you? I don't know.
Yeah, so 2021 was even more eventful. And I'm laughing because I didn't know any of this was about to happen. So 2021 was when I got back from maternity leave. So starting January, so now I got 2 kids back in the workforce, back at Project 99, and I finally decided to bite the bullet and start my private practice. So I started in January, right? And
Okay.
then my birthday came in February,
Okay. Respect.
and
Respect.
then I got proposed to on my birthday, and I said yes.
What? What?
So
Yo.
that was literally last month. And then literally last week, last Friday, we got married at the courthouse. So I'm married now.
And all jokes aside, congratulations. You know, I
Thank
don't
you
want to
so
be silly the
much.
whole time, but yeah, congratulations all the way around. Happy for you. And I want to backtrack a little bit just because I mentioned Project 99, but didn't really say what that was. Or would you be able to, briefly talk about Project 99?
hmm So Project 99 is a nonprofit agency. They're based in Essex County, and they primarily do in-home private, in-home work, in-home therapeutic services. So in-home family therapy. And so the clinicians, the therapists, the behavior assistants, there's tutors, we all go out to the homes to service these families. And most of the families are on Medicaid. So it's a Medicaid based nonprofit agency.
Okay, great, great. And I just realized because I'm catching up with you, I haven't seen you since the social work party, maybe graduation party, which is
Yeah,
maybe 2015, 16, I think
16.
2016, right?
Yep, 16.
So I didn't say, I know you from class. I didn't say you passed, you are a licensed social worker, but between that graduation time and now, because it takes a couple of years or so many hours, I'm not sure, you are
Uh-huh.
a what type of social worker are you now?
I'm a licensed clinical social worker now.
Oh man, this is like I said, this is a lot to pull on, right? This is a
It's
lot.
a lot. It's a lot.
This is a lot to pull on. But we got through your 2020 and 2021, so I'm gonna try and put some rails on this because it could go a lot of positive places is what I'm trying to say
hmm
from your time after graduation to I actually wanted to get a little bit into your story because I met you while you were working at a spot in Jersey City, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
that would be for the context of anyone who's interested in working with you, receiving social work services, if you will. Like you've been in the game for a minute.
Yes, for a minute. It's been a while, and it's crazy because I still feel young. Well, I still am young,
Yeah,
but I've
you are.
already had so much experience. So
Correct.
yeah. And then with experience, besides the years, I think it's been about 8 years or so worth of experience. But besides that, it's like experience with different populations. So when we first met, I was interning at a nursing home in Jersey City. So I was a social worker for a nursing home. So that was mainly the geriatrics populations, the senior citizens. And I loved it, but then I wanted to get more into the clinical type of social work, which is a little bit different.
hmm would you be able to, for those who's listening, break down that difference?
Yeah. So once you're a licensed social worker, that's after, you've gotten your master's degree, and then there's a test that you take and you become licensed. So with that licensed social work title, you can do certain things, right? You can do casework. You can do, like for me, when I was in the nursing home, I was in charge of the mental status exam. So basically, I had to test the cognition for these senior citizens, which is an okay, type of job. But for me, I wanted it to be a little bit more, and a little bit more meaning therapy. I wanted to do therapy, clinical work. And in order to do that, you have to be a licensed clinical social worker. And so now you don't need no more school for that, but you need to pass another exam
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well as complete a lot of hours. So for me, I had to complete, I believe it was 1,970 hours within a 3-year consecutive year period.
Okay.
And you accumulate those hours by having clinical work, by giving people therapy. So I accumulated most of those hours at Project 99 because once I got hired there, I then was able to do the clinical work, to be a therapist, to do work like that instead of the paperwork or the case management side of social work. So I feel like that's the difference between an LSW, LCSW. An LCSW can do more clinical type of work, where an
Yes.
LSW is more as case management type of work, which is both needed. And it's the beauty about it is that social work is so broad, where you can find your niche wherever you feel like you're placed, wherever you feel like you can do the most service.
Yes. 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 Everything you're saying is right on spot, and I think I would just add like when one hits the level that you just hit, you get to be a bit more independent, right? I think
Yes. Oh, and that is a beautiful thing, Chris, because now you don't need to be underneath a supervisor. So you don't really need to check in, for those weekly supervision hours. It's still nice to have someone on tap, maybe an elder in the field or someone that you feel is a mentor to, reach out to for like peer support or colleague support. But you can be more independent. So when you're an LCSW, you can now have your own NPI number and your own tax ID. Those two numbers are necessary for you to do your own billing. So you can get, your own clientele, whether that be in a private practice or you can be an independent contractor for an agency and just run your own thing, be your own person. So I feel like with an LC, you get more of that freedom where like you on your own now, which comes with, more liability. So, but you'll be covered, with malpractice. That's what malpractice is for. But it's the same work, it's the same work that you've been doing all these years to accumulate those hours. And by the way, with in terms of the hours for any new social workers up and coming, I do know that they increased the number. I think it's somewhere around 3,000. Don't quote me on that. But I do know that they're also counting in documentation as hours, as clinical hours, whereas before they did not calculate documentation, the time it takes you to write a progress note. They did not count that as clinical hours, but now they do.
Awesome, awesome. Because one, I'm now out of the state of New Jersey. Been out of there for a while, but like there's no reciprocity between the states. So Maryland, I know I had looked into Maryland before I landed in California. Everybody kind of had, I don't want to say does their own thing, but Jersey may require more hours than Pennsylvania, than that whole East Coast. So what you just pulled on was very informative. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Um, so I know where I want to go, but you're giving me so much to pull on. I think what I'm gonna do is just backtrack though, right?
Yes.
We'll go to the past, we'll
Yes.
go to a little bit to school, and then we'll just take us where the questions lead us. But so the first thing on my mind, like what drew you to social work? I think you were doing it in undergrad, right?
Yeah, so oh my gosh, there's a whole story to that. And it's a quick story. I love telling my story because
Okay.
I feel like it might help people because when you're young, when you're in college, you sometimes you don't know what you want to do yet. And so you feel like you may start off somewhere and then end somewhere else. And that's exactly what happened to me. So if you were to ask me when I first started Rutgers, what's your major? What's your career goal? Chris, that my career goal was for me to be an eye doctor, an optometrist. So I was a bio major. That was what I wanted to do. You couldn't tell me nothing different. But something happened, and something meaning the biology and all the math that I was taking, that it started getting hard. And I was like, oh, I don't think I'm fit for this. Like, and hats off to it. So all the doctors out there, you know, I don't have y'all brain, and I wish I did, but hats off to all of them, you know, members who are, you know, in the health field, because that's hard. But so once I started, you know, feeling the pressure of bio and stuff, I was like, okay, let me try something else. So my friend was like, oh, I'm taking this introduction to social work class, because her sister was a social worker. So I was like, okay, I need I forgot what they're called, but I need a general education credits anyway. So let me take that. Once I took that intro to social work class, Chris, I don't know what happened, but everything just came together. I fell in love with social work. Okay, I don't know if it was the professor or the students or just whatever, the whole dynamic of the social work program, of the people in the program, of the work. It was more natural to me. It felt more natural. Studying didn't feel like a headache. You know, talking. You know, it was just natural. So then I felt like, okay, this is what I want to do. So then from then on, it was just social work. I changed my major to social work, and my minor was psychology. And I knew from that point on, I'm going to be a social worker. I didn't know at that time, though, that I wanted to be a therapist. At that time, I just thought I wanted to be just an LSW with a bachelor's degree in social work. Well, actually, so yeah, at that time, I just wanted to be a CSW. That comes before the LSW, when you're just certified. And then after that, I decided to go into the master's program. I took a year off. I went to the master's program, and then I got my LSW. And that's when I knew I wanted to be a therapist at that point.
Okay. So we're gonna keep on this backstory. So going to Rutgers for undergrad, you stay at Rutgers for your MSW program.
Yeah.
I know you just told us therapy, but was there ever any consideration for another track, the MAP program, or it was always going to be that clinical for you?
I was stuck in between. In the very beginning, when you had to choose your track of what you wanted to go to, I was stuck in between clinical and nonprofit routes, because part of me wanted to open up my own nonprofit. But I think, speaking to an advisor, one of the advisors, she told me, why don't you just do clinical, Iesha? Because once you do clinical, you can always go back and open up your nonprofit. You know, she said, do clinical, because once you're doing clinical, that's the broad spectrum, and you can make it, you know, tune it for you. You can end up working in the agency, or open up your private practice, or open up a nonprofit, all within that same clinical track. So I feel like when I first entered in, I had the mind of, okay, I'm going to open up a private practice, a nonprofit, and just run that. But then it changed for me. And then I said, okay, I'm going to stick to this clinical route and see where it takes me. I didn't know where it would have taken me at this point.
Yes. And even though you misspoke, you spoke truly when so it's a lot of people in MSW program want to open their private practice, right? There is that you hear that very, very commonly as we're progressing through our classes, right? So you get through grad school, right? And you find Project 99. Could you talk about, some of your experiences and your development while you were there?
So before I hit on that, I want to mention that while I was in the MSW program, my internship was Boys and Girls Club of Newark. Okay. So I interned at Boys and Girls Club for a year in their social work department. Now, for me, that was a little daunting, because their social work department did not exist. I was their social work department. I was their first intern, their first social worker. Mind you, I'm a student, so I can't really say I'm a social worker, but I was it. They didn't hire, a social worker at that time to be over me. So I had to go somewhere else at an agency called FIS, which is a nonprofit agency, Family Intervention Services, they had a partnership with Boys and Girls Club. So I had to go there for supervision. So while I was at Boys and Girls Club, though, I was by myself. So in hindsight, I feel like that kind of pushed me now to be confident in this field and know that I can run something by myself.
Gotcha.
But at the time, I was a student, so I'm like, oh, you want me in charge of this department and you want me to run therapy, you want me to do groups and individual therapy for these kids? And it was kids ranging from like 6 all the way to like 17. So I'm like, oh my gosh. But I feel like that internship, it prepared me for Project 99. So they hired me right away because at that time I had already graduated school, but so I didn't have any experience besides Boys and Girls Club. And then before that, I was a social worker at a nursing home. So the little internship that I thought was little in my mind turned out to be something huge, because that turned out to be like my backing to be like, okay, to put that on my resume, that I was the only person in that department to run the social work department of Boys and Girls Club. So now interviewing for Project 99, they were like, oh, sure, of course we want you. So I was like, okay, but deep down I was like, okay, I'm still scared though, because now Project 99 is in-home work. So now I got to travel to homes, you know, in and out of different homes. And you know how that could be, different environments, different people. So I feel like Project 99, that experience shaped me to have experience with different populations, different classes of families, different races of families, different, you know, socioeconomic statuses of families, and be more versed in various problems. Because you'd be surprised, Chris, that even though we may not look the same, a lot of us have the same problems. And that's what I've learned.
I agree. Again, I was there briefly, but like you said, it puts you getting out of the theory and you're in the field, right?
Yes.
And you're supporting the clients as best as you can.
Yes.
Yeah. So how long were you with Project 99 in terms of years?
So I started in 2016. And then I'm currently still there.
Okay.
But I don't have as heavy caseload as I did before. So now for Project 99, I don't really carry cases, so I don't see clients for them anymore, but I'm in a different type of position there. So right now I do assessments. I do needs assessments for youth that are in the detention center, youth that are detained in, you know, Passaic County or Essex County detention centers. So those youth who have court cases coming up, I'm supposed to do a needs assessment to find out, you know, what do they need upon their release. And so for me, I focus on their strengths, because the judge reads whatever I write and he makes his decision, him or her makes their decision based off of my suggestion. So I know that they're reading it. So I don't like to focus on the negatives, what the charges are, what he did, what this youth might have did. I like to focus on what his goals are. He wants to finish school, him or her, or they want to, you know, start a career. What are their aspirations? You know, what led them to this bad decision that they made, and how can we help them upon their release? So usually what I do in those assessments, my suggestion is for the youth to just return back home to their family, whatever that may look like, and for the youth to receive some type of therapeutic services. So usually that's like in-home therapy. For like an agency for Project 99, a therapist will come out to that youth once he's returned back home. So that's more so now what I do for Project 99. And I like it, even though it's not clinical. It is clinical, but I only see the youth that one time. I don't see that same youth again for therapy. I'm not their therapist. Only on rare occasions I'll become a youth therapist after an assessment, but I still feel like I'm doing a good service. I'm doing something to get these youth out of that detention center. that is my goal when I'm walking in there trying to do these assessments, is to get them out and just acclimated to their family.
All good work, right? Very important work too. Social workers try to provide services within and without the how can I say it, what's provided by society or the social service system. Like no, people get very creative, and I don't mean that like in a flippant way, but they're like really try to turn over all these different stones to try to help people overcome barriers in their lives. Oh, it's still in there. It's coming out now. I don't get to use it that much, but yeah, that's awesome. And so it sounds like your role morphed, or as I'm listening, I'm like, you went from student at YMCA to LSW licensed social worker at Project 99. It just seemed like you just continued to grow.
Yeah. It's been a journey. It's been a journey, and I feel like it's evolving quickly. And me, you can ask my mama. She always tell me, Iesha, you don't like change. You never like change, because I don't like change. Scares me. You know, I like to be comfortable, and so I think ever since I graduated school, it's been nothing but change and change and change. So I'm just hit with it like, oh, and I'm finding out that I can do it. So for me, it's actually it's helping me to feel more confident within my own self, that I can do this, and I've been doing it, you know?
Yes. You have, but I'll just say, you was juggling, back then, and you juggling now, but in a different way. And it seems as if you feel like you have a bit more control over all those different balls that's popping up and down, right?
Yes.
So I'm happy for your success, happy for your progress, and just happy for you in general.
Thank you.
But now, you know what I'm saying, we didn't big up everybody else. Let's talk about this private. What is the name of the private practice that you got the business? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it.
Okay, so the name is Inspirational Counseling and Consulting. That is the name of my private practice. It is a new private practice. It is a virtual private practice for now, because we're still in this pandemic. So I'm offering telehealth sessions, and how that looks like is video or phone calls, however the client feels comfortable. And I feel like, even though this is a new private practice, it's been up and running, and I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful right now for it.
So let me ask you about your process of going through setting that up on the business end. And I kind of feel like you alluded to it as far as you were talking about insurance, but what could you talk about your steps a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. So, there's a couple of steps to private practice, but you can do most of them all at the same time. I feel like one of the major steps you want to do is, there's something called, it's an acronym. It's called CAQH. And that is basically an application that you, as the provider, so you're now going to be called a provider. Okay. You're a social worker, you're a therapist, but you're a provider. So you, as the provider, are going to fill out something called a CAQH application. And that basically is like, it's kind of like an online resume. It's like your online resume, where all the other health insurances can look you up, right? And in order for you to have that CAQH application, you also need an NPI number and a tax ID number. These things you can find on Google. You just Google, how do I get an NPI number? How do I get a tax ID number? They're both free. You submit a little online application and you get the number right away. Once you have those two numbers, you now can fill out the CAQH application. And then you also need malpractice insurance to cover you for your liability. Once you see clients, in the event they sue you, you need malpractice. There's plenty of different areas that you can get malpractice from. I go for the NASW, the National Association of Social Workers. I get my malpractice there. Not a lot of money. Okay, you have all that. You do your CAQH application. Once you complete that and they review it, it looks all good. Then you can now apply individually for health insurances. This is now for the clinicians who want to take health insurances. I know some people don't, but in my opinion, I say yes. In my suggestion, take it all. Take private pay, take health insurance, and now you can even take Medicaid because they've made it easier. The Medicaid application is easier now because we're in this pandemic. So I'm about to apply for Medicaid. But back to health insurances. So once you finish the CAQH, you now could apply individually for each health insurance, right? You can do that. I forget the word. You can do that like co-occurrently. You can do that all together. So, the big ones are Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare. I'm talking about New Jersey. I'm sorry for those who might, not have those health insurances. But the big ones are Aetna, United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, Magellan, AmeriHealth. You apply individually. They all will look at your CAQH. So remember, keep that always updated. Keep, your license on there. Keep your malpractice on there. Everything updated. Because they will look and verify. Once they do that, they will approve you or deny you. Most likely they will approve you. It takes about 2 months for each health insurance to approve you to be a provider on their list of providers. Once you are approved, they send you a contract via email most times. You sign the contract, and on the contract, they give you the rate of what they will be paying you once you start seeing clients. And then you take it from there. In the meantime, while you're doing all that, while you're waiting to hear back from all these insurances, you set up your business account. So, we have our personal checking account, personal savings account. You want to have your personal business bank account. I don't care what bank it is. You can, there's plenty of banks out there. Now there's like online banks too who might give you a bigger rate, a better rate. I haven't explored that yet, but, just have some type of business bank account where when you get paid, the money goes there. So you keep it separate from your personal for tax purposes. Yeah. It's a lot of little things, Chris, but I want to make this clear because I was one of those who was afraid. I was afraid for like a good year. I had people in my ear, do it. And I was just scared, right? Scared of the unknown. I want to say to everyone out there who was fearful, do not be afraid. Okay, I'm here now to motivate those who need it because I've had a team motivating me and it's helped me a lot. Okay, it is not as daunting as it may seem, especially for those who are already licensed clinical social workers and even those who are LSWs too. We've already been doing the work. It's the same work. It's just now you don't have someone on top of you. Now it's just you. But it's the same progress notes. It's the same sessions that you're doing. It's the same interventions that you're offering the clients. It's the same issues. It may even be less issues if you're used to being an in-home clinician. It's kind of less issues because in-home is more intensive. Private practice is not as intensive. So I just want to make that clear that it's not as scary. It is not as nerve-wracking as it looks like. Once you're in it, you got no choice but to keep doing it. And you'll get there. You'll get there.
Truth. And again, thank you because that's just what I'm big on right now is having people unpack processes, and it's like you said, it's a learning experience, right? So there is times you may be uncomfortable, but the opportunity on the other side of that uncomfort is just awesome, right? Awesome, because now you are an entrepreneur, right? You are running your business. You are using what you went to school for. Like it's awesome. It's awesome. And so because I was excited, I did not ask you like what modalities or we talked about how you deliver services, but what modalities would one expect if they chose to work with you?
Well, so I like to say that I do it all because
What?
I do, but there's a couple of modalities that I like to tend to I stray to more frequently. So I want to say I love CBT. I love, cognitive behavioral therapy. I love it because I feel like most times, at least for me, what I've been seeing is most clients, they just, it's a mind shift. It's just negative thoughts that they need to change into positive thoughts. So a lot of it is that cognitive behavioral therapy, trying to teach the client how to think more positively, how to take another perspective. Aside from that, I like solution focused therapy because
Yes.
it's in the word, solution focused. That's what your clients come to. They come into you for a problem. They need a solution, and they want it. So that's good. And then also, I think it's pretty much the same as solution focused, the brief solution focused therapy or something like that. So, they want it in a timely fashion, right? So I like to work quick. I like to give my clients the tools that they need quick because I don't want them to still be in that situation in that mental space that they were before. I want to bring them to a state of equilibrium. And that's what we learn in social work school, I'm using them terms.
Hey, we paid for them. Use them all, yo. We paid.
Yes, pay for them. Yes. And then I also want to mention that yes, a lot of those things, those modalities that we learned in social work school, they do come up. They do come up in real practice. But I feel like once you're really in it and you get into the real work of it, you can see, like, you could put now two and two together. Because now in school you had the book version, but you didn't really know how to apply it, or you might not know what it looks like being applied. But in your practice now, you could start applying those things that you've learned or that you've read. And then you can start to see, like, oh, this really does work. Even as cliche as it may sound, because I was one of those, reading stuff and like, or does this really work? But now applying it to my clients, yeah, those simple, little jewels that CBT or solution focus, those things really do help. Coping skills, the deep breathing, the relaxation techniques, aromatherapy, utilizing your senses. I like to use all of those things in my practice because I feel like to have mental health, you got to have like spiritual health too. Your spirit got to be good, and so in order to have that, your senses, you have to feel relaxed. You have to feel calm within yourself in order to have your mental health, at its full functioning capacity.
Awesome stuff. And I think even more so, I don't have the right word, not more so, but anyway, like this whole COVID, people are in need of everything you just mentioned, right? Like they're in need at a higher level. They already were, but now even more so. So what was that you said? If your spirit ain't good, your health ain't good.
If your spirit not right, your mental health is not right. And Chris, how I'm talking to you, this is how I talk to my clients. I keep it real. I keep it raw. What you see is what you get. You're going to get you a little Guyanese girl and I'm going to shake things up. And I like to hold my clients accountable. Okay. So I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hold you when tough times are tough, but I'm going to also tell you when you're wrong and tell you when you need to, toughen up and fix up yourself. And when you should be held accountable for things, but I'm going to do it with love. I like, tough love, but then we're going to laugh and we're going to joke about it later. And we're going to cry too. I'm with it.
That's that. So family, a lot of these folks I've been having on here is from North Jersey. That's that. Where you from?
Yeah, that's that hood in there. That's that Jersey City. That's that Hudson County up in there,
So I already had Patterson, you know what I'm saying? I had some South Jersey, and now I went back. I ain't had Patterson wasn't enough. I went to Jersey City, you know?
Yeah, so I gotta rep that little Hudson County because people be sleeping on us. We not as hard as Passaic County, Patterson, and Essex County, Newark, but we go hard. We the third runner up in there. You can't forget us, little Jersey City people.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Um, is there anything that I didn't highlight that you feel like you would want to highlight for the people to know about?
Um, No, I mean, I want people to take away that, if you are a social worker who may not know what field or where you want to start, just try it all. Because I feel like, as social workers, we're able to do that. We're able to wear multiple hats. That's what the degree is for. That's why we went to school. So if you don't know certainly where you want to be, I just say do it all and follow your spirit, because that's what I did, and it's leading me into the right direction. Yes, I feel overwhelmed, but as a social worker, when haven't you felt overwhelmed? You always gonna feel overwhelmed at some point, so you might as well take that and do it for yourself, because it's a different overwhelmness. At least I don't have to, answer to somebody else or, hand this in at this deadline, or else I'm not gonna, receive compensation or something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's different
Yeah.
when you're doing it for yourself, and
Yes.
I just want to highlight that it's not as hard as it seems. And I also want to highlight that I'm here for those who may need motivation. And I'm here for those clients or prospective clients who may need services. Um, I'm also here to refer. I have many colleagues who are therapists. So not just me, I have people to refer out to,
Now let me slow her down. She taking my job, setting me up for the setup. All right, all right, all right. I feel you. I feel you. So what I mean by that is, how can the people get in contact with you?
Okay. So I'm on Psychology Today. If you go on Psychology Today and you type in my name, Iesha Crandon, I should pop up. Um, you can also find me on Instagram. My Instagram is public. Um, I believe my Instagram name is Busy B. Let me get it for you correctly. Is Busy _ B and the number 9. And then I have phone numbers that people could reach me on, and I'll let you leave that in the description. My email is my first and last name at gmail.com. So that's ieshacrandon@gmail.com. And the practice name, you can find it on Google. If you Google inspirational counseling and consulting, it'll pop right up on Google, and you can find my contact information that way too.
So
And then
family.
I
Oh,
believe
go
I
ahead. I'm
believe
sorry.
also I believe also if you Google my name now, Iesha Crandon, it might pop up too. You'll see the Instagram and stuff like that.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say you go see that LCSW. Okay, what um, and she kind of implied it, family, but like, you seeing her vibe, you seeing um just the person that she is, but she also mentioned like she can refer, and so I think sometimes people that may not be familiar with the mental health community, um, other there's other people that you can connect with if I don't say Iesha's not your style because she said she does it all. But like even when I was going through school, sometimes a person would be like, "Well, you're young, you're a male. I want to speak with a woman that's older, around my age range." Sometimes the client has a preference,
Yes,
and it's nothing that the clinician is nothing against your skills. It's just they
yes.
have a block, right?
Right. And don't ever take offense to that. And for those clients who may be listening, we as therapists never take offense to that. So if you have a preference, you stick to that preference and you find the therapist that is right for you.
All right, man. I think this was fire, but we got this section called the quick hits, right? You ready for these quick hits?
Okay. I'm
All right.
ready. I'm ready.
All right. So you mentioned it briefly, and I didn't touch on it because I knew it was coming at the end here. Can you talk a little bit about your tribe, those individuals that have been rooting you on, and supporting you as you reach this point?
Okay. Woo. I don't want to get emotional. That's weird. I'm getting emotional.
Anybody though, but since they've been holding you down, it's okay if you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this
We
is
want to give shout
crazy.
outs to the people that's been loving on you. You feel me?
Yes. I have a big team, and woo. So that involves like my husband, he's number one. He's from day one, he's been like, okay, you can do it, stop being scary, you got this, right? So other than him, and ooh, I'm choking up. You could keep this in, don't edit it out.
I'm
Other
not.
than him, I feel like I have a whole bunch of colleagues. So that's you guys, including you, Chris, everyone I graduated with in school, everyone who I've kept connections with. Like you guys, indirectly or directly, by seeing you guys doing what you guys are doing, it's motivating me to do what I'm doing. So even like, let's say me and you, if we don't even connect often, me just seeing what you're doing motivates me to keep going. Like, oh, he's overseas, he's doing what he's doing. Let me start, let me put my big girl boots on and start trekking. I have a whole bunch of colleagues who have also opened up their private practice. Shout out to Roderick and Desiree. They're the two gurus
Roderick,
that,
what's
yes,
up? That's what's up.
yes,
Okay.
Roderick, yes. So he started like the year before me. And Desiree, she graduated with us at Rutgers. She started about a year ago too with her private
Okay.
practice. So
Respect.
them two, yeah, they've been pushing me from since last year. Girl, you need to do it, do it, do it. And so now I'm finally doing it. And then aside from them, I gotta big up my mama. That's my ride or die. That's my ride or die chick, my mama. And then my husband's family. So the in-laws that I have now uh, um, joined in as family.
Yo,
So,
that's great.
yeah, so my two sister-in-laws and my mother-in-law, they have really, you know, got me into shape when I felt like, oh, I can't do it with the two kids and the business. And they like, girl, do you need me? I will come clean the house. I will come, take the kids while you see the clients. They help me a lot because it's just me trying to juggle this, juggle a business with being a mother is a lot when you have kids running around.
That's no, that's awesome, man. It's a family affair. It's a family affair, and I think yeah, it's the social work thing is good because it isn't a competition because there's so many different ways
Yeah.
you can. So we got classmates that's in the hospital that's doing
Yes.
medical social work. We got classmates in the school system. So it's like we just rooting each other on as we find our own ways. It's even I don't forget the lady's name because I had classes with her, but I didn't keep in contact with her like I do you and some other people. But like she's in politics because she went
Oh,
the
wow.
management and policy route, right? So it's just like, yo,
Hmm.
we out here doing our respective things in our respective lanes. So I agree. It's kind of awesome when an update comes across the feed. I'm like, yo, they get it.
Yes.
But that's about me. Let me shut up. Let's get back to you. Um, your go-to song for 2020 and any early recommendations for this year, 2021.
You're gonna laugh, but this came up yesterday in a session, right? I asked a client what's her favorite song, and then I had to answer the same question. So, to know me, you guys, is to love me, okay? I am a professional, but I'm not always professional. So on my off time, I do like that ratchetness. I do like that reggae-ness, you know. So my go-to song right now, I think it's called Lemonade, but it's like off the juice. Tony got me sipping ice. Lemonade, my neck is dripping. Cause we got the ice. I like songs that motivate you. So songs that make you upbeat. Like okay, so that I feel like that's my go-to song. And then for 2021, I want you guys to try this new Jamaican artist, and I'm bigging him up everywhere. He's American, but his roots are from Jamaica, so he does it all. He sings and he raps a little bit. He plays the saxophone. His name is Masego, and he has a song out.
Yeah.
He has I know you know. I know you know. He has a song out with Shenseea, and Shenseea is like this dance hall Jamaican queen over there. So them two with their Jamaican flavor, they doing their things. And so I feel like she's making him more into the Jamaican scene now. So he's big enough. So check out Masego for those who have not been rocking with him since he was underground, because I was one of them. Okay. Now he blowing up and he don't know how to act, but I'm here for it.
Yo, she's been on the music since I met her. So this is like she said, this is 100% her right now. You know what I'm saying? And she can sing a little bit. I don't know if y'all heard that, but we're not gonna deviate. Just a scotch. Just a scotch. Maybe that'll be another episode, but not right now.
Yeah, that's my hidden talent for those who don't know. It's hidden for a reason.
Book you haven't read yet, but one you would like to, or your favorite book.
Okay. So honestly, that is, I'm gonna keep it real with all y'all. That is an area that I need and I want to improve on. Because I feel like since I've been out of school, honestly, Chris, I don't know the last time that I picked up a book for leisure, not something that I have to read for, you know what I mean? So I
It's all
don't
good.
have,
Got
yeah.
audiobooks now too. You know what I mean?
Right. So what a book that I do want to read, you guys are gonna think that I'm, crazy, but this is why I'm a social worker. I love like things like documentaries, things about like beliefs that are like extreme beliefs, like stuff that deals with the mind. So what I'm really into at this point is like cults, religious cults. So anytime there's a documentary about it or I listen to a podcast about it, right now I'm into like the whole Scientology religion, per se. And I do want to do a little more research in that. There's a book that Leah Remini has out. I don't remember the name, but it's dealing with Scientology and her dealings with that. So I kind of like books like that, dealing with what goes on with when people believe certain things that are outside of the norm, or that to other people may seem extreme or cult like.
I mean, I don't think that's. It's a social work type of thing, right? We try to understand stuff, right?
Yeah, I like to understand like what went on to drive you to that point.
Yeah.
I like to know about that. Yeah.
Okay. Are you still vegan?
Wow. So yes and no. So the answer to that, to my vegan people, they're gonna be like, oh, well that means no. So yeah, I'm gonna be real, no. So I am not, because I've incorporated now the fish. For y'all, I'm Caribbean, so my body at some point it said, nah, girl, you need that fish in your diet. You need the curry snapper, you need the curry salmon, the jerk salmon, you need that. So after 5 years of being vegan, I said, nah, man, I have to eat a piece of fish. I have to eat something. So I eat fish like 3 times a week now, but I'm not doing the pork, the red meat, the chicken. I don't do that, but I will do the fish. Yeah.
Okay, so we got a pescatarian. So what's your favorite dish? And we can't say snapper because everybody loves snapper. So what's just give me it could be a side. It could just go ahead. What's your favorite food?
I got so many, but side, if you want, okay, side, you could give me that baked mac and cheese. I'm doing the dairy now, just a little bit, just a little bit. So I don't drink the milk, but if you put some baked mac and cheese in front of me, I will eat it and make sure it's crispy. I like it a little burnt a little bit. Aside from that, just straight Caribbean food. So my roti, my curry, all of that, my dal, my rice, my cook
Roti.
up, all of that, my saltfish fritters, my aki for the Jamaican people, my saltfish and aki, my dumpling, all of that.
Okay. Some things I do miss about the East Coast, but again, this
Oh
is not
yeah.
about me. Top 3 destinations you haven't been to, but as soon as Rona goes away, you would like to work towards getting there.
Top 3. Oh, you know where I really want to go, and I've been saying this forever. I want to go to Hawaii because that's not. It shouldn't really be off the. It's an American territory, so it's not that far off the spectrum. So
Hmm.
Hawaii is one. I want to go to the U.S. Virgin Islands because I haven't been there. Um, and you know where I really, really, really want to go one day is Tahiti. I always said I want to go to Tahiti, and I'm gonna make that happen. Not just yet, but maybe give me like a good 10 years. That's my max. If I haven't been there within 10 years, you come for me and ask me why.
It's all good. You're working towards it. You're working towards it. Well, I mean, I want to appreciate you for the energy, the enthusiasm, the realness, and the information. We had fun, but you shared a lot of information in a little bit of time. You want to get that information one more time, how someone can get in contact with you, either for services or maybe collaboration. I don't know. Everything is different
Yeah.
with Zoom now, so I don't know.
Right. So the business name is Inspirational Counseling and Consulting. You could Google that, and that's how you find me. You can go on Psychology Today and type in Iesha Crandon. You can email me at ieshacrandon@gmail.com. You can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is public. It's busy_B and the number 9. So that's BUSY_BEE, the number 9. And yeah, I think, whoever, just reach out, you know, I'm here for it.
Yes, yes. And again, I appreciate you, appreciate the time. I know we had some fun getting together. um, but it all worked out in the right
Yes.
time, right? It all worked out. Congratulations again on the ring being put on it, on the family growing. Oh, there she go, there she go.
I don't know how
Um,
to act, y'all. I ain't think this was coming up this time. I was so wow. I'm still in shock, even though now everything done passed. I'm like, oh wow, I'm married.
Awesome, awesome, and I'm again happy for you, happy for the fam. Um, Man, business, children, family. She got it going on. Watch out, she might write a book or something. I don't know. It's
Oh, one day it's coming. It's coming. It should have been done. Those were my goals. Both times when I was on maternity leave, I said I'm gonna write a book, but I didn't get to it yet. And the book would have been on, veganism at that time, a vegan pregnancy, how to, what things to take, what supplements to take, and how to raise a vegan baby. But I'm gonna do it one day, and maybe I'll do a little social work in there too.
all in one.
All
All
in
in
one.
one. Well, family, y'all got her information. Y'all seen who you're dealing with. 100% West India, Jersey
Yes,
City.
yes,
Rude girl, that the one.
yes.
um, yeah, my. See, I don't even hear it no more. It's going away. It's getting terrible. Anyway, anyway. Thank you for the time, and
Thank you so much, Chris. Thank you for everything that you've been doing too. I see you out there. I see what you've been doing. You're doing it. So thank you for being one of those fellow social workers. We all out here.
For sure. This is kind of my new passion though, putting my people that I know are quality, putting them out above and beyond. You know what I'm saying? We were all grinding
Yes.
during school time, you know, and that's one of
Yes.
the things I respected about you. You was having your fun, but you was taking care of business. Business. We
Yeah,
ain't get into that. You was a working woman.
a lot of blood, sweat, and
Yeah.
tears, and them tears was real. I'm talking about real sobbing tears. I can't do this.
But
Mm-mm.
you kept on it. You know what I mean? So now it's some of those seeds are producing fruit. So, you know, getting people, positive people, putting it in the atmosphere, and hopefully it lands. Well, not hopefully, I believe all this information, everybody that I've interviewed thus far and will in the future, like that information lands where it needs to land, right?
Yes.
And then that you can just take it, or they can take it and run with you because you
Yes.
possess the skills. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.